Hey, how's it going, you guys? Petplatypus here, and it's time to review another episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. Not a double review, and I'll talk about that towards the end of the video, but a single review for one episode of Yu Yu Hakusho, episode 101. We get a lot of Kurama focus in this episode, actually, which I think is good. It makes sense. We got a lot of Yusuke focus, then we got a lot of Hiei focus, now we're getting a lot of Kurama focus. Makes sense. Kuwabara is just getting totally shafted, which I don't like, but this episode finally kind of got me into this arc. I think that this dude is the best king of the three so far. I like him a lot. Kurama was cool in this episode. They're actually like doing things and strategizing and creating plans, and I'm kind of getting a feel for what this arc is even gonna be, and that's great because for a while now it's just kind of been, yeah, there's Hiei character development and Yusuke, you know, trying to find the dude, but there's like, what is this arc about? And it seems like it's gonna be like a war. I don't know if there's going to be any crazy big berserk type battles or whatever, but it looks like it's going to be a war. They're talking about the positions of power. You got the three kings, they got their second in commands, how strong they are by comparison, and Kurama's talking about how the second in commands will get replaced. He's thinking, you know, I'm going to replace the second in command with my king, Yusuke's going to replace the second in command with Ryzen, and Hiei's going to replace the second in command with that king, whose name I forget, and might be a queen, if I remember. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched the Hiei episodes, obviously. I'll just address that right now. It's been like 3 fucking weeks since I did Yu Yu Hakusho. I do apologize. I just was not feeling this arc, but yeah, I liked the battle strategy planning. I liked the backstory about how they knew each other. I like the dude's voice. I can't remember his name. Yomi or something, maybe? I might be wrong, but this king, the blind king that Kurama's with, really cool voice, really cool character. His backstory with Kurama was really cool. I liked, you know, how he was reckless and everything and had that dude imprisoned, and it turns out that Kurama had the dude imprisoned, you know, to try to kill him, and really cool backstory. And then he's like, oh yeah, it'd be a shame if your mom didn't make it to the place she's going. It'd be a shame if that plane crashed, huh? And Kurama's like, oh, you son of a bitch. So yeah, he's pretty much going to be forced to work with him. So clearly it's a very rocky partnership, but it's interesting. I liked it. The Hiei stuff was cool too. Just kind of weird, like how his backstory just kind of came out of nowhere, though. There was really no big segue into his backstory. It just kind of happened. This felt like it had kind of a segue, you know. It was kind of like, okay, these guys know each other, so what's the deal? What's their history? Then you get flashbacks. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a good episode of Yu Yu Hakusho. Probably like a 7.5 out of 10. The animation was good, especially when Kurama fought these 3 dudes, like these 3 super fodder guys. Like they all looked identical. That's how fodder they were. Like literally like Soldier A, B, and C. Kurama beating the shit out of them was pretty badass. He did some cool shit with his vines, you know, his rose whip or whatever he calls it. So yeah, the animation was pretty good overall. Very solid animation. The pacing of the episode was a tad bit slow, but that may be because I haven't seen Yu Yu Hakusho in a while. I'm just not used to its pacing. I gotta kind of get back into it. But the pacing was okay, and the story progression was decent at best. Mostly just character building for Kurama and this new king character, the blind king, which is what I'm gonna call him until I remember his name. We didn't get anything of Yusuke. He's training, getting his ass kicked. We didn't really get anything of Hiei. Well, apparently Hiei is like stronger or something, it was hinted at by the blind king. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the episode. It was actually a pretty good episode. I'm actually kind of getting into this arc now. I'm kind of behind it. I still think you could have ended it sooner. I still think this arc doesn't need to happen. If you had just taken out the demon stuff, this arc would be really unnecessary. But yeah, the demon stuff is there, and this is happening, so hopefully it ends up being really good in the end. But yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a war arc. That's kind of cool. Yu Yu Hakusho hasn't done that. For some reason I felt like Yu Yu Hakusho would have more tournaments, because I've always heard like, oh, Togashi loves to write tournaments. So I just kind of assumed that Yu Yu Hakusho had a lot of them. I knew about the Dark Tournament before getting into the series, obviously, and then early on there was the Genkai Tournament, and then Hunter x Hunter you have the Heaven's Arena, and I was like, okay, yeah, he does do quite a few tournaments, but I just expected more for people to be like, oh yeah, he always does tournaments. But yeah, whatever. This arc seems cool. But yeah, I'll just save like that, you know, the ending thoughts of Yu Yu Hakusho for like the final episode, which is relatively soon, and that's kind of why I'm not doing double reviews for the rest of these episodes. I don't know what I'm going to do from the beginning next. I don't know what I'm going to be reviewing from the beginning, and just doing JoJo once a week really isn't enough. So until I figure out what series I'm going to review from the beginning next that I haven't seen before, I'm going to slow these down, because if I did 2 episodes a week, or 2 episodes at a time, it'd be like 6 videos. With this, it'll be 12 videos, and they'll be spread out over the course of like the next couple weeks while I figure out what I want to do next. And of course, you can recommend series. They don't have to be long like Hunter x Hunter or Yu Yu Hakusho. They can be 25 episode series, a couple of seasons of a series, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, so, you know, leave recommendations in the comments below if you feel free to comment, of course, about your thoughts on this episode. And that pretty much gets us to the end of this video. So, thanks for watching this video. Like I said, tell me what you guys thought of this episode of Yu Yu Hakusho in the comments below. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.